and we call the meeting to order at 5:01 p.m. Before we get started, staff and board members, please mute your phones if you're not speaking. And first on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. And also I want to state that we will be going into executive session towards the end. So is there a motion for approval of agenda?
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as provided.
I second.
Okay, so properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? And so the agenda is approved. Next, we will have the approval of the minutes. So is there a motion to approve the minutes for monthly board meeting for October 13th and then the minutes for October 20th special board meeting?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve both sets of meeting minutes.
Thank you. Second.
I second and also have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Approve the minutes as presented. I just have a follow-up question about the minutes. When do I do that?
You do it now. We're in discussion.
Okay. On the second page, where Mr. Kidd announced that he'd asked the board's legal team, who is our legal team? The board's legal team.
The board's legal team consists of the individuals appointed by the county attorney. That is the county attorney himself, Ms. Leslie Suzanne, who is on the call, and typically Aaron Watson, and we also have Jonathan Nesbaum.
Okay. So the board's legal team is the county attorneys, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if it was somebody different. That's all I was wondering about. And maybe we can discuss later the poll watchers, what they can and can't do.
Is that in the minutes you're looking at now, Bob?
Yes, ma'am. It'd be the third page where almost nearly right at the end, it said Mr. Kidd noted that the election code refers to enclosed space, but it's not explicit concerning it, because I had asked the question just before that, as you see in the minutes. Has there been any better definition of enclosed space and what they can and cannot do?
The enclosed space, that definition is structured that way on purpose because, as you are aware, precincts vary based off of a building. Typically, the enclosed space is the first space that you have the check-in center for a precinct, continuing to where an individual would actually cast their ballot. So in this case, where the BMDs are located or the precinct tabulator, that area would be the enclosed space.
Okay, and the poll watcher pretty well has free run of the area, except for looking at the poll pads and the registered voters of the precinct that book there.
Yes, but that is to the discretion of the poll manager as far as the actual operations of a precinct. Sometimes we have had to ask poll watchers not to move at the same time voters are moving inside of a precinct due to being able to effectively control the movement inside of a precinct.
I understand they're not to interfere, but can they be told, sit right there and don't move, kind of thing?
Typically, like most of those, it shouldn't be told to sit right there, but we can ask for a compliance with the overall efficiency of a precinct. I'm unaware of any situation that a poll watcher has reported back to the office where they felt that their access to a precinct was impeded at any point.
Okay. I'm good. That was my follow-up questions from the minutes.
Okay, well, thank you. Are there any additional questions at this time? Hearing none. If you're in favor of both of the minutes, October 13th and October 20th, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anything? Hearing none, the special board meeting and monthly board meeting minutes are both approved. Next, we'll go to citizen comment.
Madam Chair, we had no citizens turn in requests to speak at this meeting.
Thank you, Director Kidd. Are there any felon hearings at this time? Felon hearings?
There were no felon notifications disseminated for the month of November.
Okay, thank you so much. Any office operations reports updates?
Yes, ma'am. Office operations report will consist of the following. I would like to begin by thanking all of our poll workers, area managers, transportation staff, and all associates with the elections process in Douglas County for helping us conduct a successful election, carrying out our tradition of carrying out successful elections. This is one of the most dedicated team of individuals I've ever had the pleasure of working with, and I want to thank you all on behalf of all of the citizens of Douglas County. This concludes the office operations report at this time.
Thank you. But I want to give you all kudos as well. You and your entire staff, you worked tirelessly and just really put your all into delivering an excellent election day. We know we're going into a runoff, so make sure you have your energy ready for December. But thank you all. And
Yes,
to the
ma'am.
board as well, for going out and, speaking to the staff at each of the precincts. I can tell they really appreciated seeing our presence as well. So if there's nothing, are there any questions for Director Kidd? Awesome. Next, we're going to old business.
Old business consists of the following. The elections office is aware that there have been information disseminated to the general public without going through the records management department. All departments and agencies in Douglas County are required to follow Douglas County's policies and procedures around records management to ensure compliance with all acceptable laws as far as information that must be redacted prior to transmission to the general public. The general public, for any election-related material, can submit an open records request to Ms. Aubrey Britt, who is the records manager for the county. This is the proper way to transmit anything from the elections office to individuals that have requested information. This concludes old business at this time.
Thank you. And Director Kidd, please confirm that does apply to this board as well.
That does comply to this board as well as individuals representing Douglas County. All individuals representing Douglas County are to adhere to all of Douglas County's policies and procedures, including all boards certified under Douglas County.
Thank you for that. Any questions for Director Kidd?
Yeah, I have a quick question, Madam Chairwoman. What's the appropriate way to reach out to her? Did you say there's on the website? I missed the contact information.
Yes, ma'am. On our website, we have under the elections department, we have a tab called Open Records Requests. Under that tab, Ms. Aubrey Britt's email, as well as the information that the county, about the county's records management policy, is clearly indicated. It is also has her email address to contact her for open records request, as well as the forms that can be submitted for an open records request. This is in order to make sure the county is in compliance with tracking all open records requests, which they are legally required to do. There are also information that has to be redacted prior to disseminating to the general public. This board has access to unredacted documents that cannot be supplied legally to individuals without redacting certain voter information.
Other questions?
Who decides what is redacted?
The records management department works in conjunction with our legal staff to adhere to the records management policies, including what information legally has to be redacted.
Okay, thank you.
Director Kidd, have we had any recent incidents of this taking place?
Yes, we have, sir.
Questions? Okay, thank you for that information, and we will make sure we are in compliance with the board moving forward. So next we will have new business.
The new business will start with Ms. Heather James. Heather, you're muted.
We have begun processing the elderly and disabled rollover list for the absentee by mail ballots. We are accepting applications now, and the deadline to make that request is going to be Monday, November 28th.
Mr. Malcolm Gonzalez.
I'm going to share my screen for this section regarding early in-person voting. So if you just give me 1 second. You guys see that?
Yes, sir.
So we're going to begin early voting for this runoff on Tuesday, November 22nd, which is a little over a week from now, a little over almost 2 weeks. So I have this picture of this calendar. We're not going to begin that Monday, but on the 22nd of November, all 7 locations that have been used this election year will be opened from 8:30 to 6 p.m. on Tuesday, the 22nd, and Wednesday, the 23rd. Polls will be closed for the 24th and the 25th for the Thanksgiving holiday, and the new courthouse on Saturday, the 26th, it will be open with our usual Saturday hours, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That following week will be an entire week of 7 locations across the county, 8:30 to 5 p.m.
8:30 to 6.
8:30 to 6 p.m., sorry. We have unofficial and incomplete numbers for this November election. Our total count as of right now is 52,964 voters for this election. I do want to draw some attention to our advance in-person voting, and this is a large reason why we're trying to be so robust for this runoff with this tight time frame. We had, back in May, we had 11,450 voters vote early in person. That was about 45% of the cast ballots. For November, it was 34,328, which is 65% of the cast ballots. And that compares to the state's average of 57%. So we're even over that. So Douglas County voters have taken advantage of our robust advanced voting regimen, and we want to continue that for this runoff. And then finally, on Thursday, November 17th at 11 a.m., we are performing a risk limiting audit on the results of the Secretary of State's race for this November election. That's what I have.
Thank you. I have one question. Thank you for sharing that data and the early voting dates. So some counties are starting on Monday early voting. Can you all explain the delay by week with advanced voting, or is there a delay?
There is not a delay. We actually are starting earlier than some counties. By law, early voting for a runoff election has to be a week time frame, but the preceding week is Thanksgiving, so that is a delayed time frame. The week that we are going into on next week, we certify the current election on Tuesday. On Wednesday and Thursday, Wednesday we'll be preparing for the risk limiting audit. On Thursday, we will be doing the risk limiting audit, which will probably stretch throughout the entire day with that one. The transportation team needs time to finish preparing the equipment and transport it to 7 locations. So that is why from that weekend till Monday, we will be transporting and setting up sites. You will notice that most of our neighboring counties will not be beginning early voting until the 28th. We wanted to make sure that we had, election law requires you to begin as soon as possible, so we wanted to give voters as much time as possible, which is why we're beginning on the 22nd date.
Okay, thanks for that clarification. Now, are you all confident that we'll have the support needed to cover all bases at the precincts, like workers and everything?
My team is diligently working on that as we speak. We are finalizing the current election as well as shifting gears and planning and implementing our strategy for the runoff election. The state of Georgia did go to a shortened runoff period, but we are doing our best to make sure that the voters of Douglas County feel no lack of support as far as our advanced voting schedule.
Thank you, Director Kidd. Any additional questions?
Yes, Director Kidd. Are you concerned that the 22nd will be jeopardized because a lot of people will start to be going out of town for vacation during that week?
Yes, we do realize that individuals will be going out of town during that time frame, but we wanted to give the voters of Douglas County as many days as possible to have early voting.
Thank you.
That is a concern of ours. This was also a concern raised when the legislature decided to move federal runoffs from the January timeframe to December. We have been expressing this fact that this runs right into the holiday schedule for individuals. So yes, we are concerned about that. Nevertheless, we will do our jobs.
Any more questions?
Yes, I have a question. Will this risk limited audit, will it affect our certification dates?
No, the risk limited audit will take place after certification.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any other
I've
questions?
got one last question, Madam Chair. Director Kidd, is there anything specific the board can do to help support the staff and, getting prepared for the, this runoff, and anything we can do specific to help?
For individuals attempting to help, I think that just spreading the word to the general public and to any constituency groups that are affected by this is going to be a tight time frame for advanced voting. It's going to be a tight time frame for mail out. Just stressing to individuals to pay attention to what is going on and to check our website frequently for updates around this election.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so I'm hearing that. Thank you, Director Kidd, for answering those questions. So now we will go into executive session to discuss a pending litigation matter. Is there a motion to move into executive session?
So moved. Ms.
Okay.
Craw.
And Bob, I saw Kevin raise his hand, has a second, it's been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Okay, so at this time, at 22, we will move into executive session and we will return shortly thereafter.
You're cleared, ma'am. Okay, you're good to go, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. We are now back in general session. May I have a motion to move us back into general session at 5:38 p.m.?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we move back from executive session to the regular board session.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Seeing none, now we will have, just want to state that we discussed a pending litigation and no votes were made in that discussion. Now we will have board member concerns at this time. Okay, so hearing none, if there's no more business, the next regular board meeting is Thursday, December 8th at 5:00 p.m. and we hope to see you here virtually. So have a wonderful evening and thank you staff and board members and our attorneys for being on today.
Happy birthday, United States Marine Corps.
Yes, happy Veterans Day.
247 years.
All right. Happy birthday, Marines.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Yeah, Mr. Kevin.
And happy Veterans Day to everyone. Tomorrow's Veterans Day, so thank you all for your service.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye-bye.